Hello, my name is Tara. I am a partner technical consultant working in the North America Partner Services Division at Microsoft. Today, I will be discussing the new features in Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013 R2. In this session, we will be going over the new features in the General Ledger, Receivables Management, Payables Management, Bank Reconciliation, and Fixed Assets. General Ledger includes the following new features. First, General Journal Transaction Entry window allows users to copy and paste a new journal entry from an Excel spreadsheet into Microsoft Dynamics GP. Second, the Account Segment Setup window allows users to roll down account segment description changes to existing accounts. Third, the General Ledger Year-End Closing window allows users to open the most recent historical year in the General Ledger.
Lesson 1. Copy and paste from Excel to the General Journal Transaction Entry window.
Figure 1 shows the information that can be copied from an Excel spreadsheet, the order of the columns, the format requirements, and if the column is required or not. The columns are distribution reference, account number, debit amount, and credit amount. Microsoft Dynamics GP will paste data from the 4 columns only, with an exception of analytical accounting, which will be described in a later video. If analytical accounting is not activated and there is data entered in the 5th column, all the data existing beyond the 4th column will be truncated. Figure 2 shows an example of an Excel file. The Paste button has been added to the upper right portion of the General Journal Transaction Entry window to allow for the new functionality. By default, the Paste button is enabled when the window is initially opened. However, if there is any line items entered in the bottom portion of the window, the Paste button will be disabled or grayed out. Let's take a look at this feature in action in Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013.
Here's an example of a spreadsheet that I've created so I can copy and paste into the General Journal Transaction Entry window. Highlight the data in Excel, be sure to exclude the column headings. Right-click and copy the selection. If you do copy the column headings, validation errors will occur when you paste in the data. Now that I have information copied from my Excel document, I'm going to open up the General Journal Transaction Entry window by going to Transactions, Financial, and clicking on General. In this window, I'm going to take my cursor and put it into the account field, then choose Paste. If errors do occur during the paste, information is not copied into the scrolling window and a validation report will be printed. Now at this point, you can enter in the remaining information into this screen, the transaction type, transaction date, the source document code, reference, and currency ID, and save it to a batch if you choose so. Lesson 2. Roll down account segments.
In previous versions of Microsoft Dynamics GP, description changes made in the Account Segment Setup window would affect new accounts entered in the system going forward only. Now the Save button functionality has changed in the Account Segment Setup window to allow users to roll down account segment description changes to existing accounts. When clicking the Save button in the Account Segment Setup window after making a change to the description field, Figure 2 shows the message that will appear. When Yes is chosen, all the accounts that contain an equivalent or originating segment description will be updated with the new segment description. In other words, the description will roll down to all existing original account descriptions. In addition, the new description will be assigned to the appropriate segment, number, combination, and accounts entered in the system going forward will be assigned the new segment description. Please be aware if the description is left blank and the user chooses to roll down the changes, the corresponding account description will be updated with a dash character, as the account description cannot be blank. When No is chosen, no segment descriptions are rolled down to the existing accounts. The new description will be assigned to the appropriate segment number combination, and the account entered into the system going forward will be assigned the new segment description. Let's take a look at the Roll Down Account Segment feature in action in Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013.
For this example, let's take a look at an account that I already have entered into my system. By clicking on Cards, Financial, Account, I'm going to enter in the account that I have entered. Take note of the description field and close this window. Now I'm going to open up the Account Segment Setup window, Microsoft Dynamics GP, highlight Tools, highlight Setup, highlight Financials, and click Segment. In here I have segment 1 is division, so I'm going to do 200 and see accounting is in there. I'm going to change it to test and I'm going to click save, click yes to roll down. I'm going to close this window and verify my change by going to cards, financial, and account, pulling up the account, and I can see my change is made in here in the description field. Lesson 3, open historical year.
In the General Ledger year-end closing window, shown in Figure 1, the Reverse Historical Year button has been added to allow for this new functionality. The Reverse Historical Year button opens the Reverse Historical Year window, shown in Figure 2. This window is used to open the most recent historical year. For example, if you have closed the years 2013 and 2012, the year 2013 will appear in this window. Simply click on the Process button to reopen the most recent historical year. It is always recommended to make a backup of your company before and after reversing the historical year. Keep in mind, only the user in the Reverse Historical Year window can be logged into the company while the process is running. All other users must be logged out of the company. If you are using analytical accounting, the analytical accounting information is moved from history to the open year. Let's take a look at this feature in action in Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013.
To open the most recent historical year, let's go to the Reverse Historical Year window. Microsoft Dynamics GP, Tools, Routines, highlight Financials, click Year and Closing. Now in this window, click the Reverse Historical Year button. My most recent historical year is 2013, so I'm going to click Process. I have a backup in place, so I'm going to click Continue. Now the process is completed. I can close this window. Now it's going to recommend to reconcile all your open years, starting with the oldest open year first. Reconciling recalculates the account summary amounts for the open periods. Once that has been completed, then I would recommend taking another backup of your company database.
Receivables Management includes the following new features. First, Print Receivable Statement window allows users to email and print statements for multiple customers at the same time in Receivables Management. Second, the Customer Email Option window allows users to assign specific and/or multiple email addresses to specific sale document types.
Lesson 1, Print Remaining Document Statements.
The Print Remaining Document Statement feature was added to allow users to email and print customer statements at the same time without duplication. In previous versions of Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013, users could either email all statements or print all statements. It was not possible to do both at the same time. With the new functionality, when the Print Remaining Statement checkbox is marked and the email button is clicked in the Print Receivable Statement window, Microsoft Dynamics GP will first generate emails for all customers set up to receive statements via email using Microsoft Word templates. Next, after all emails have been generated, Microsoft Dynamics GP will then print all remaining statements for customers, including the group who did not receive an email. Figure 1 shows the new Email Option Print Remaining Statements checkbox that was added to this window. This option will only appear when the form on blank paper is selected. Let's take a look at this feature in action in Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013.
In this example, I'm going to take a look at Aaron Fitz. Cards, Sales, Customer. I'm pull up Aaron Fitz, verify his email is enabled, close this window, and now I'm going to go take a look at the statements. Microsoft Dynamics GP, Tools, Routines, Sales, Statements. I'm going to create a statement ID of blank form. I need to change it to on blank paper. Now the email option is enabled, so I can check that. I'm going to select my range, click Insert. I'm going to verify that my destination is set to template. Click OK. I'm going to save that option, and I'm going to open it up again. And now I can click Email. Lesson 2, Email Address Based on Document Type, Customers. With this new functionality, when the Enable Radio button under the Email Address Based on Document Type is active, in the Customer Email Option window shown in Figure 1, the user can assign specific and/or multiple email addresses to each available document type. By choosing the Email Address Ellipse button next to the document type, This will open the new email address based on document type window shown in Figure 2. This window is automatically populated with all email addresses associated with each address ID assigned to a particular customer. Simply mark the appropriate box next to each email address in the email address based on document type window to ensure the document types get emailed to the particular addresses. Users can apply the same email address setting to other sales document types by marking the checkbox next to the appropriate document type and then clicking the OK button. Let's take a look at this new feature in Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013. For this example, let's take a look at Aaron Fitz. Click on Cards, Sales, and then click on Customer. Let's pull up Aaron Fitz, click the email button. In this window, I'm going to enable the email address based on document type. And now I can click on the ellipse button. And then in here, I have the CC and BCC selected on here. Down below, I can select I want the same option set to the sales order by clicking the checkbox and click OK. Then you can click OK and save. The next module is Payables Management. The new features are default sort order on Payables Management checks. This allows users to set default sort order that will display in the Print Payables Checks window. Second, document attach integration to Payables. Users will be able to attach documents directly to a transaction in the Payables Transaction Entry window. They will also be able to view documents that flow from vendors and/or from associated purchase order processing documents. Third, email address based on document type vendors allows the user to assign specific and/or multiple email addresses to specific payables purchasing document types for each vendor. Lesson 1, Default Sort Order on Payables Management Checks. The Sort Check By field has been added to the Payables Management Setup window. To change the default sort order that will display on the Print Payables Checks window, the user can simply click on the drop-down arrow next to the Sort Checks By field, highlight either payment number, name, state city, or zip code, and click the OK button in the Payables Management Setup window.
Let's take a look at this feature in action in Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013.
To change the default sort order option for Payables Management checks, let's open up the Payables Management Setup window. Microsoft Dynamics GP, Tools, Setup, Purchasing, and click Payables. In this window, you will see the Sort Check By option. By clicking the drop-down, I can change it to either payment number, name, state, city, and zip code. For this example, I'm going to switch it to name, and then click the OK button. Lesson 2, Doc Attach Integration to Payables. Doc Attach functionality has been added to the Payables Transaction Entry window in Payables Management. This allows documents to be attached directly to a transaction in the Payables Transaction Entry window and will also be available in the Payables Transaction Entry Zoom. Documents that are flagged to flow from the vendor card will flow to the Payables Transaction Entry window. The paperclip button, attachment icon, has been added to the top right of the window shown in Figure 1. Lesson 3, Email Address Based on Document Type Vendor. With the new functionality, when Enable Radio button under the Email Address Based on Document Type is active in the Vendor Email option window in Figure 1, the user can assign specific and/or multiple email addresses to each document type. The document types are Purchase Order and Vendor Remittance. By choosing the Email Address Ellipse button next to the document type, this will open the Email Address Based on Document Type window shown in Figure 2. This window automatically populates all email addresses associated with each address assigned to a particular vendor. Simply mark the appropriate box next to each email address in the Email Address Based on Document Type window to ensure a document type gets emailed to that particular address. This feature allows the same email address settings to other payables and purchasing document types by marking the checkbox next to the appropriate document type, and then click the OK button. Let's take a look at the email address based on document type vendor in Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013. In this example, let's take a look at the vendor, a travel company. Cards, Purchasing, Vendor. Click on the Email button, click Enable, and then click the Ellipse button. These are all the accounts that I have associated with this vendor, and I can select the other document type as well, the vendor remittance, and click OK, and then click Save. Bank reconciliation. A new outstanding transaction report has been added to the Financial Posting Journal window. This will allow you to reprint the outstanding transaction report after a reconciliation has been completed for a checkbook. Lesson 1. Reprinting the outstanding transaction report. The outstanding transaction report has been added as an option when the user selects the drop-down arrow under the Reports in the Financial Posting Journals window. Let's take a look at reprinting the outstanding transaction report inside of Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013. In Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013, click on Reports, highlight Financials, click on Bank Posting Journals. From the Reports drop-down, scroll down and click on Outstanding Transaction Report. In here, you can either create a new report option or click Modify after highlighting the report option. So I'm going to highlight Reprint April, click Modify, and in here I have one audit trail that I wanted to take a look at. Click Destinations to verify that where you're going to set the report to. Click OK. Click Print. Click OK. And here is an example of an outstanding transaction report reprint. The next module that we will take a look at is Fixed Assets. The new feature is Default Asset ID from Class. With this new functionality, it provides an option to default the next asset ID based on class when a new asset is created in the Asset General Information window. Lesson 1. Default Asset ID from Class. The Default Asset ID from Class feature provides a user with additional option for getting a default asset ID value when a new asset is created in the Asset General Information window shown in Figure 2. One of the new features that was added with the release of Dynamics GP 2013 was the ability to define the default next asset ID that is automatically incremented for all assets. This was added in the Fixed Asset Company Setup window. This feature takes that functionality a step further, allowing users to default the asset ID by class, making them more easily identifiable. For example, users may want all assets in an auto class to have the prefix of auto. Users can now define the next asset ID for each class in the Class Setup window, shown in Figure 1. With this added functionality, the system first takes a look at the Class Setup window to get the next asset ID value, if the option is marked. If the option is not marked, then the system will take a look at the default value in the Fixed Asset Company Setup window. If the option is not marked to use the default asset ID at the company level, then the asset ID default is blank in the Asset General Information window. Additionally, this new functionality can be utilized to default the next asset ID value based on class when assigning asset information to the purchasing transaction entered in the FAPO Additional Information window. This window allows users who are entering POP receipts to enter asset information, which is then defaulted into the Asset General Information window when the purchasing transaction is integrated with fixed assets. If the Create New Asset ID for Destination Company Record checkbox is marked in the Fixed Asset Intercompany Transfer window, when the Transfer button is clicked, the Default Asset ID from Class checkbox is marked in the Destination Company for that class selected in the Class ID. Then the Asset ID that is generated from each new asset in the Destination Company is taken from the Next Asset ID field in the Class Setup window for the selected class in the Destination Company. If the Default Asset ID from Class checkbox is marked, and the user selects Class ID in this window, then the selected class and Asset ID will default both on the FAPO Additional Information window and the Asset General Information window when the purchase item is selected from the list to create the asset record. Let's take a look at the Default Asset ID from Class feature in action in Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013. In this example, I'm going to verify that the Default Asset ID checkbox is marked. By going to Microsoft Dynamics GP, Tools, Setup, Fixed Assets, and Class. I'm going to select my auto and verify the default asset ID from classes selected. Now I'm going to enter in a new asset in the Asset General Information window. Cards, Fixed Assets, General. I'm going to enter in my class ID of auto, and in here I can see that my asset ID defaulted in.